Dr. B, it's time.
Oh, it's time! Yes! Today we're going to work on atoms. Let's roll into the lab. All right, everyone. Are you all ready to rat-a-tazz? It's time. Today we're going to take a look at atoms. Let me get my jacket on. And for those of you who may not know me, I'm Dr. Rebecca Woodbury. Dr. Rebecca Woodbury. Actually, you all can just call me Dr. B. Okay, so you should have your lab notebook pages. Look again. And first things first, let's turn the page and set up your experiment. Okay, so let's set up your experiment and make sure that you have all the materials you need. So plastic bear, check. Cotton ball, check. Piece of fabric, check. Piece of sandpaper, check. Magnifying glass, check. Scissors, check. And safety glasses, check. Okay, we're ready to go. The next section is called Use Tools Like a Chemist. Every lab notebook will have a section like this where we learn about tools, techniques, or chemicals. So let's read this section together. Use tools like a chemist. Scientists use tools to look at very tiny things. In this experiment, you will see how a magnifying glass can help you see tiny details. You will not be able to see the atoms in the objects. Scientists have different tools to do this, but you will see tiny details that are hard to see with just your eyes. One of the best ways to learn something is to ask questions. The first question is, what does a magnifying glass do? A magnifying glass makes small things look bigger when you look through it. The next question is, how do I need to hold a magnifying glass to use it? You hold a magnifying glass in between your eyes and the object you're looking at. You are going to move the magnifying glass up and down until the object looks clear. And one of the things that you can do to stabilize your hands is to tuck your elbows in, touch your fingers together, and it'll stabilize your hand. The next question is, can I see things in a different way with a magnifying glass? Well, a magnifying glass makes the object you are seeing look bigger, and this means that you will be able to see small details. So let's take a look at the page that we're reading, and you can see that the letters are bigger, and you can even start to see some of the grain of the paper. Now it's time to practice making your own questions about magnifying glasses and what you can see. Take some time to read these prompts. What will happen if, can I, is, will this, how much, does, when I, and why. And in the space below, write your own questions. Okay, so let's get started. So grab your plastic bear and ask the following questions. Do you think there are any letters on the bear? What do you think of the surface of the bear is like? And do you think you will see something you did not expect? So answer these 3 questions without looking at the bear with your magnifying glass. Go ahead and fill in your answers. The next section is test it. So grab your bear and your magnifying glass and answer the questions now using your magnifying glass to look very closely at the bear. Are there any letters on the bear? What is the surface of the bear like? And do you see something you did not expect? Go ahead and give it a try and mark your answers. Grab the magnifying glass again, and I'm just going to look at the bear and see if there's anything on there that I didn't expect to see. And in fact, there is. So I'm seeing on my bear, his hands have little round circles for the paws. And I can't see that with my eyes only, but I can see it with a magnifying glass. And I didn't expect to see that. Very cool. We've got a lot of detail for a little tiny bear. The next section is about a cotton ball. So grab your cotton ball, answer the questions, and then grab your magnifying glass, look carefully at the cotton ball, and answer your questions. Okay, give it a try on your own. And you know, if I use the small magnifying glass, some of these strands are actually black. There's mostly white strands, but there are a few black strands in there. Huh, interesting. I didn't expect to see any black strands in there. The next two sections you will do on your own. So grab your piece of fabric, answer the questions about what you think the fabric looks like, and then using your magnifying glass, look at the fabric, and then answer the questions again. And the same is true for the sandpaper. Grab your sandpaper, answer the questions, what you think the sandpaper will look like, and then repeat by testing it and looking at the sandpaper with your magnifying glass. I'm just going to grab some of the strings off the edge here. Let's see, I can grab a couple, hold them off. And the question is, are they straight or wavy? They look pretty straight to my eye, but I'm going to grab my magnifying glass, brace my arms, brace my fingers, and look at them up close. Oh, they're quite wavy. They're all wiggly. Little wiggly, wavy strings. Huh. And so the inside actually looks very different than either the back side or the front side. The inside is actually pretty different. It's got a lot of little fine hairs there. It's brown, but the texture is quite different. So in the next section, you're on your own, and I want you to play like a scientist. And so what I want you to do is to find some objects and look at them with your magnifying glass, and then look at them on the inside and the outside. So maybe you have a banana, or a cracker, or an apple, or maybe you have some jelly beans, or maybe an animal cracker, or even a gummy worm. And ask the question, are they the same on the inside as the outside? And use your magnifying glass to see if you can see some small details. All About Ratataz is about asking and answering your own questions. And so this is just the starting point. So I've picked some items from my kitchen. I'm going to move these over. So I have a number of different vegetables here, our fruits, actually, and a couple of flowers. So I have some actual flowers that I think we can chop open and see what's inside. This is an artichoke that we can see what's inside. This is called a dragon fruit, and we can see if it's what's inside. This is a little kiwi, and we can see what's inside. And then this is called a Kawano melon. I've never seen or tasted a Kawano melon, but we can actually open it up and see if it's the same on the inside as the outside. So grab some items around your house. This is actually a tomatillo. It's a kind of tomato, and you can see it has this husk on the outside. And I brought my big knife so that we can cut some of these open. If you're going to be cutting any fruits or vegetables open with a knife, grab a parent or an older sibling to help you with that. Knives can be quite dangerous if you're not careful. So I'm going to move some of these over, and let's just open up a couple of these and see what's inside. So one of the questions that I had written down earlier when we were asking our own questions was, back here, all the way back in the front, what is inside a kiwi? So this is a kiwi fruit. You can see it's rough on the outside. If I get my magnifying glass out, I can actually look at the little fibers. I can see a lot of little fibers with the smaller circle than I can with the smaller circle makes the little fibers look even bigger. And so the question I had is, what's inside a kiwi? Do you think a kiwi is the same on the inside as the outside? Let's find out. Take my knife and I'm gonna cut this kiwi open. And it's very different on the inside. In fact, it's green with seeds in a white center. And I can take a look with my magnifying glass and I can get some detail about the inside of this kiwi. Those seeds look pretty interesting. Wow, it's very different on the inside than it was on the outside. Let's do another one. Let's do the dragon fruit. Now, I've had dragon fruit before, and there's actually two types. One type has a white center and one type has a red center. So what do you guys think? You think this is gonna have a red center or a white center? I'm gonna vote for a red center. Let's see what happens. Cut it open, and haha, this is a red one. This one has a red center. It's called a dragon fruit, and you can see it has similar seeds actually to the kiwi in some ways, little black seeds. So let's get the magnifying glass out. And I can see detail in those seeds. The fruit looks pretty interesting. It's kind of bright red, very fun. Okay, so let's open this one, this melon up, Kawano melon. I have never had one of these, never tasted one, never opened one up. So the question I'm gonna ask myself is, what do you think it looks on the inside? Do you think it would look like maybe the kiwi, or maybe the dragon fruit, or will it look like a melon, like a cantaloupe or a watermelon? I don't know. I'm gonna go with, I think it's gonna have seeds on the inside. I think it's gonna look similar to a kiwi. Let's try that. So I'm gonna open this up, see what's on the inside. Oh, it's very different than a kiwi. Wow, that looks interesting. It's got a lot bigger seeds. The seeds look more like cantaloupe seeds maybe, or even unripened watermelon seeds, and it's got this very interesting pulp next to the seeds. Very interesting. In the next section, you're going to be asking your own questions. And I want you to use words like how, why, where, is, does, can, and so on. So ask some questions that you have that you're interested in about details and how a magnifying glass will help you. Okay. Okay, in the next two sections, Let's Play and Talk, Tell, and Dazzle, I want you to take one of your favorite questions and see if you can figure out how to answer it. Would you design an experiment, go on a field trip, call a scientist, or do a Google search? Then I want you to tell us how you answered it and what discoveries you might have made. You can make a video, make a drawing, take a photograph, give a lecture. And if you have your ideas handy, share them with us on social media with #Ratatazzle. So that completes the lab notebook. Join me in the next episode where I ask the question, is a golf ball the same on the inside as it is on the outside? And does it look the same as it did 50 years ago?